Carl Jung revealed a shocking truth about narcissists that many fail to grasp. When they realize they can no longer manipulate you, they don't simply disappear. They implement a final, subtle, and destructive move, capable of undermining years of healing in just a few weeks. If you don't recognize it, you risk falling into their trap. But before revealing this final low blow, it's essential to understand the psychological game that precedes it. Jung argued that the narcissist's true fear is not abandonment, but the moment when the victim becomes stronger internally. In his analysis of the shadow, Jung showed how narcissists project their own frailties onto others to maintain an image of superiority. But when you begin to heal, to set limits, to break out of their pattern, something cracks in their psyche. Jung called this moment a crisis of power reversal. And what follows can be devastating. If you sensed from the first words that this message resonates with you, then leave a like right now. I'll understand, and I'll know that you too have seen through the veil. I'll know that you're aligned with what we're about to explore. Narcissists don't seek love, but control. They need a figure to dominate, someone from whom they can draw emotional energy to sustain an illusory self-image. Jung observed that they operate from a state of inflated ego, in which they must constantly impose themselves on others to avoid facing their own inner emptiness. When you were fragile and seeking their approval, you were an ideal source of validation and narcissistic nourishment. But the moment you begin to trust yourself, set boundaries, and no longer seek their approval, you become a threat to their identity, built on control. This is where the maneuver Jung warned us about comes into play: destructive projection. They no longer simply play the victim or silently manipulate. They begin to attack your authenticity, your path to growth, what Jung called individuation. But this isn't just any attack. It's targeted, calculated, designed to hurt where you've worked so hard to rebuild yourself. Destructive projection is the narcissist's way of trying to reverse the process of your emancipation, transforming your evolution into guilt, your awareness into selfishness, your freedom into betrayal. Jung emphasized how in this phase, the narcissist can become particularly persuasive and venomous, acting with subtlety or open aggression, depending on which strategy proves more effective. Their words can take the form of sarcasm, judgment disguised as concern, or outright accusations that call into question your growth. At that moment, your path to individuation is put to the test. It's a crossroads between remaining firm in your transformation or giving in to the temptation to turn back just to regain an illusory peace. But as Jung reminds us, every step toward the truth of who you truly are is a sacred conquest, and no projection has the power to erase it unless you let it. They begin to attack what makes you strong. Remember when they criticized you for your insecurities? Now they target your evolution. According to Jung, they see your strength as the only obstacle to their control. They'll tell you, "You've changed, but not for the better. You used to be kind, now you're just selfish. Your success has made you arrogant." But Jung highlighted a disturbing detail. These criticisms aren't random. They target the very areas you've worked hardest on. If you've learned to say no, they'll accuse you of being cold. If you've found your voice, they'll say you're aggressive. If you've gained confidence, they'll say you've become presumptuous. Jung defined this behavior as the humiliation of strength, a strategy to shame you for the qualities that liberated you. And it doesn't end there. When this attack fails, narcissists use a technique Jung called nostalgic manipulation. They recall the old, more docile you. They'll say, "Remember when you were always laughing? You seemed happier before all those self-help books." Or, "I miss the person you were." But they don't miss the real you. They miss the you they could control. And if you're not aware of it, you might start to miss it too. Here's where Jung's revelations become darker. When even nostalgia doesn't work, narcissists play their most dangerous card: constructed vulnerability. Jung noted that narcissists know exactly how to exploit your empathy. The moment they see you as strong, they suddenly appear fragile, emotional crises, health problems, family difficulties, and it all happens at the exact moment you were finally finding yourself. For Jung, it's not a coincidence, it's a script. Narcissists keep a precise mental record of what makes you lower your defenses. Guilt, protective instincts, compassion, and they'll use it against you. Jung discovered that they often cause disaster themselves, only to then ask you to fix it. They destroy relationships, work, or health to put you back in the role of savior. And they do it not only to get help, but to see if your strength can still be sacrificed for them. They'll say to you, "I know you never lend money, but this time is different. I know you needed your space, but now I need you. I know you're thinking only of yourself, but could you help me just this once?" Every "just this once," Jung said, is a test to break down your new barriers. It's not a real request, it's a test. They want to see if, once again, you'll put them above your own well-being. If you do, Jung warned, you risk losing everything you've rebuilt. The trap is that they may appear genuinely in crisis. But Jung explained, narcissists know well when to show you certain suffering and to whom to show it. They have alternatives, but they choose you because they know you're the one at risk of giving in. How to defend yourself? Through what Jung called differentiated compassion. You can feel empathy without having to sacrifice yourself. You can understand without vanishing. Jung said, "The greatest privilege in life is to become who you truly are." So when a narcissist tries to drag you back into old patterns, even in crisis, ask yourself, does helping them bring me closer to my true self, or does it push me away? Jung's final discovery changes everything. Narcissists fear your strength because it reflects what they have chosen not to become. Your authenticity disturbs them because it shows them the potential they have abandoned. When you don't make yourself smaller to please them, you're doing something revolutionary. You're choosing yourself. And that's why they'll do everything they can to break you. But Jung wanted us to remember this. Every time you stand firm, every time you don't give in, you're proving that their power was just a mask. True strength isn't being unassailable. It's knowing how to recognize manipulation, name it, and stay true to yourself. Their latest trick only works if you forget who you are. If you lose touch with your essence, if you begin to doubt yourself, if you give in to the old script where you were the one who always had to give in. But when you see it for what it is, a last-ditch attempt to regain control, everything changes. You understand that that very manipulation is the ultimate proof of your freedom, a sign that confirms how much you've grown. Jung reminded us, true life begins when you stop being manipulable. When you no longer allow yourself to be seduced by empty promises or intimidated by veiled threats. When you learn to distinguish between authentic compassion and destructive sacrifice. Inner freedom is not just a condition, but a daily choice. And every time you choose to remain true to yourself, even in the face of the suffering of others manipulated to weaken you, you are affirming your deepest truth. No crisis, however credible, is worth the price of your freedom. No request, however urgent, can be as valuable as the peace you have built within yourself. If this video resonated with you, please leave a like to let us know, share your experience or reflection in the comments, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content dedicated to the soul, awareness, and liberating truth. From Invisible Philosophy, I wish you continued your journey with strength, clarity, and inner freedom. See you soon.